Confucian tradition, I think we need to be more careful, especially by contemporary intellectuals, such as foot binding. And if you examine, there's a lot of study of foot binding now. And you know the whole case of coursing. And what is the term? Try to tie your waist. Coursing, I'm sorry. And that particular action turned out to be extremely detrimental to the body, because the organs became, the lower organs, and with this kind of tightness, and interfere with the lung. And most people, most women practicing coursing die very young, in their 30s or 40s. And the contemporary situation, if you look at it, it's something people call anorexia. In other words, try to starve yourself, if not to death, starve yourself, try to imitate certain idealized form of femininity. And foot binding began with that practice, and then went out of the way. And the foot binding often was done by the mother, the loving, caring mother, and want to enhance the marriageability of their daughters. And this, of course, is a social practice that lasted for some time. And what is the Confucian position on this? The Confucians, as we know, certainly didn't encourage foot binding. The big question is, why didn't they outlaw it? Why didn't they fight against it? That's the big question. The other one is the question of chastity. And again, the social factor is very critical. Whether the Confucians were committed to this particular position, again, need to be examined. Now, is there a way out? And I just simply mentioned, and then we have further discussion with this. This is the historical burden and social practice, of course, with all kinds of political implications. One is to look into the future. There's no problem that we're not going to deal with these issues from the Confucian point of view, with a view to the future. Comparatively speaking, the Confucian tradition is more receptive to the challenge of the modern times. And comparatively speaking, as compared to, say, Catholicism, or Islam, or Orthodox Judaism, to a certain extent, even Buddhism. But I don't want to put too much emphasis on it. And if we look at the suppression of women, and we need to add not just the gender question, but the gender question combined with the age question and the status. So a woman becomes stronger and stronger as she advances in age. So the mother and the mother-in-law are very powerful, actually. The daughters and the daughter-in-laws turn out to be daughters-in-law turn out to be very weak. Status too makes a difference. The other one now is a major discovery, only happened in the last few years, that there are just numerous poets, women poets in China. For example, in the Qin dynasty, we talk about thousands of women poets, so they can express them. They could express themselves. They were highly literal. And of course, there are all kinds of interesting discussions of very powerful women throughout China's history, especially in the informal setting. And the spirit of reciprocity worked in the so-called three bonds. The ruler's power over the ministers, but the minister's ability to protest, or the power of remonstrance, turned out to be very strong. The father's authority over the son, but the son is not simply a passive acceptance of the father's sometimes abusive power. The son has very powerful justification to remonstrate with the father. And that's also between husband and wife. And there's a text based upon the three bonds, but all the examples in the text turn out to be the protests of the minister, of the son, and of the wife against the authority of the ruler, of the father, and of the husband. So this spirit of protest is very, very strong. Now, there's a story about the relationship between the father and son. And when the father steals a lamb, as you know the story, the son straightforwardly reports that to the police to have his father arrested. This is considered as a demonstration of justice. Confucius was so offended by that and say, father covers the son and the son covers the father. Many people consider that as a way against any kind of legal constraint, against justice. But the argument is distasteful. If the son immediately reports to the ruler, to the police about the minor crime of the father without dealing with the question in a totally different way, like negotiation, like keep it quiet for the time being, but try to deal with the situation out of the court, there are all kinds of possibilities. So if you follow this particular line of thinking, then the familiar relationships turn out to be an extremely complex relationships that may not be totally coercive. Next time I will begin with the question of, with a view to the future, what are some of the problems we deal with. Be sure to have your topics,
Pardon me?
I
think so.
This one thing.
Yes, I tried.
Thank you. Talks about the responsibility of the elite, take care of all.
Thank you for the
homeless,
extension.
they're more
Sure.
responsible.